She said, "If you don't like my friend's jokes about my ex, you can just pay and leave," so I did. Then I sent her cheating screenshots to her dad and blocked her forever. I'm Bryce, 29M, commercial electrician in Auckland. Been with Sienna, 26F, for 2 years. She teaches pottery at some community arts center in Mount Eden, makes about $45K a year playing with clay while I'm pulling $95K plus overtime keeping the city's lights on. Last night was supposed to be dinner with her friends at this overpriced Ponsonby spot. I'm paying, as always. Her crew shows up, Bella the yoga instructor, Reed, rich girl who teaches 2 classes a week, Madison who sells crystals at markets, and Pippa who takes blurry photos and calls herself a photographer. These women are parasites. Every one of them living off daddy's money while pretending to be bohemian artists. The conversation, as usual, turns to Sienna's ex. Some Wellington Trust Fund DJ whose father owns half the hotels down there. They're going on about his European tour and his connections in Ibiza. I'm sitting there, fresh off a 12-hour shift rewiring a warehouse, listening to this SHT. Then Bella, wine drunk and nasty, leans over and says, "At least Sienna's ex had better stroke game. Musicians just have that rhythm, you know?" The whole table laughs. Including my girlfriend. I look at Sienna. Just a look. Waiting for her to shut this down like any woman with basic respect would. Instead, she giggles and says, "Bella, you're so bad." I set down my beer. "I'm not comfortable with your friends discussing your ex's performance." Sienna rolls her eyes. Actually rolls her effing eyes at me. "God, Bryce, it's just a joke. If you don't like my friend's humor, you can just pay and leave." The table goes quiet. They're all watching, probably expecting me to apologize, to backtrack like some whipped dog. Alright. I stand up, pull out my wallet, and drop enough cash for my meal and beer. Just mine. "Wait, what are you doing?" Sienna's voice cracks. "Leaving. Like you suggested." I walk out while they're still processing what just happened. Behind me, I hear Bella whining about who's going to cover their cocktails now. But here's where it gets interesting. I drive back to our gray Lynn flat, the one I pay 80% of the rent on because artists don't make much money, babe. The same flat where she hosts her creative gatherings that I fund. The same flat where something's been off for months. See, I'm not an idiot. I've noticed the changes. Sudden pottery workshops in Hamilton. Weekend exhibitions in Tauranga. Always taking phone calls on the balcony. New lingerie that never gets worn for me. I've kept my suspicions quiet because I needed proof. Tonight, though? Tonight I'm done playing nice. Sienna left her iPad on the couch, still logged into her iCloud. Normally, I respect privacy. But respect is a two-way street, and she just showed me how much she has for me. What I find makes my blood run cold. Kieran. That's his name. Sales rep for some ceramic supplies company. Married. 2 kids in Tauranga. The messages go back 4 months. SXTS. Photos. Videos. All while I'm on emergency call-outs or pulling doubles to pay for her artistic development. "Can't wait for you to glaze me like your pottery, Daddy. Bryce is working late again. Come over. That tradie could never make me feel like you do." There are photos from hotels I paid for. Messages planning meetups during her workshops I funded. 3 months ago, when I surprised her with a weekend in Queenstown for her birthday. She was texting him from our bed while I was in the shower. I screenshot everything. Every message. Every photo. Every timestamp that matches with a night I worked late or a weekend she was finding inspiration. Then I open my contacts and find Ross's number. Her father. The man who built an empire from one used car lot. The man who pulled me aside at a family barbecue last year and said, "You're the best thing that's happened to my daughter." She was losing herself with those Wellington clowns. I attached the screenshots. All of them. The message is simple. "Ross, thought you should know why I'm leaving Sienna. Thank you for everything. You've been more of a father to me than my own. Respect always, Bryce." Send. I pour myself a whiskey and wait. It doesn't take long. My phone buzzes. "Thank you, son. My office, 8 a.m. tomorrow." That's it. No questions. No disbelief. Just acknowledgement from a man who probably suspected his daughter hadn't changed as much as she pretended. I'm packing my tools when Sienna stumbles in at midnight, wine drunk and giggling. "Baby. You missed such a fun night. Bella ended up paying and she's so mad at you." I don't look up from organizing my drill bits. Your dad knows about Kieran. The giggling stops. What? Your father knows about the ceramic sales rep you've been effing. I sent him everything. I finally look at her. The color has drained from her face. She's swaying, but not from the wine anymore. You went through my iPad you left open? Yeah. Interesting pottery workshops you've been attending. Bryce, baby, I can explain. Don't. I zip up my tool bag. I'll be back tomorrow for the rest of my stuff. I'd appreciate if you weren't here. You can't just leave. Where am I supposed to live? I can't afford this place alone. I actually laugh. Maybe ask Daddy. Or Kieran. Or get a real job instead of playing with mud all day. She starts crying. Those big dramatic tears that used to work on me. You're ruining my life over nothing. It didn't mean anything. Neither did I, apparently. I head for the door. Your dad wants to see me tomorrow. I'm guessing you'll be hearing from him too. Bryce. She's screaming now. You can't do this. Come back here. I don't come back. Update 1, posted 12 hours later. SHT's hit the fan. Met with Ross this morning at his flagship dealership in Penrose. His office overlooks the showroom, all glass and chrome, photos of him with all blacks and politicians on the walls. He's sitting behind his desk when his secretary shows me in. Doesn't say anything at first, just slides a coffee across to me. Black, 2 sugars. He remembers how I take it. Sit down, son. I sit. I called Sienna last night after your message. She denied everything until I told her I'd seen the screenshots. Then she broke down and admitted it all. He looks tired. Older than his 58 years. I've given that girl everything. Private schools. University. Let her pursue her art even though I knew it was BS. And this is what she does to the one decent man she's ever brought home. I'm sorry, Ross. Don't apologize. You've done nothing wrong. He leans back. In fact, you've done me a favor. I've been making excuses for her behavior for too long. He opens a drawer and pulls out a folder. I was going to give this to you too at Christmas. Had a feeling you were going to propose soon. Inside is a deed transfer for a section in Hobsonville. Prime land for building. I can't take this, Ross. You're not taking anything. I'm hiring your company to do all the electrical work for my dealerships. This is a signing bonus. The land's yours regardless of what happens with my daughter. Ross. Bryce, you're the son I never had. That doesn't change because Sienna's an idiot. We shake hands. As I'm leaving, he adds. She's been cut off, by the way. No more trust fund. No more daddy's credit card. She wants to be an artist? She can live like one. I'm driving to the worksite when my phone explodes. 47 missed calls. 130 texts. All from numbers I don't recognize. Samples. Please just talk to me. You've destroyed my life. Kieran's wife found out. His marriage is over. I have nowhere to go. Dad won't answer my calls. This is all your fault. I'll KL myself if you don't come back. I block each number as they come in. At lunch, my foreman pulls me aside. Some crying bird showed up here looking for you. Security had to escort her out. Cheers for handling it. No worries, bro. Heard she did you dirty. You need anything? Nah, all good. Just want to work. But it's not over. When I get to my mate's place in Henderson where I'm crashing, Sienna's there. Sitting on the front steps, mascara streaked, still in yesterday's clothes. How did you find me? I followed you from the site. That's called stalking, Sienna. Please, just 5 minutes. Let me explain. No. Bryce, please. I love you. You love my wallet. There's a difference. She stands up, tries to grab my arm. I step back. Don't touch me. I made a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. Effing another man for 4 months while I'm paying your bills is a choice. Where am I supposed to live? The landlord says I have to be out by the end of the month if I can't pay. Not my problem. But I'm your girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend. And you should have thought about that before spreading your legs for a married man. She flinches. Good. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. You're just not used to consequences. My friends won't even answer my calls. Bella said I'm on my own since I can't pay for drinks anymore. I actually smile at that. Shocking. The parasites fled when the host ran out of blood. Please, Bryce. I'll do anything. Start by leaving. If you come near me again, I'll file a restraining order. You wouldn't. Try me. Something in my voice must convince her because she backs away. But not before one last manipulation attempt. I could be pregnant. I laugh. Actually throw my head back and laugh. We haven't had sex in 2 months, Sienna. You were always too tired from your workshops. If you're pregnant, it's Kieran's problem. The last bit of color drains from her face. How long have you known? Longer than you think. I just needed proof before I burned it all down. I walked past her into the house. She's still standing there when I closed the door. Update 2, posted 3 days later. The crazy escalated. First, the social media campaign. Sienna went on Instagram portraying herself as the victim of an abusive, controlling relationship, said I was jealous of her success as an artist. That I isolated her from friends. That I went through her private messages because I was insecure about her past. The comments were hilarious. Babe, you don't even sell your pottery. What success? Didn't this man pay your rent? Girl, we all know about Kieran. Delete this. She deleted the posts within hours. Then came the workplace harassment. She showed up at 3 of my job sites. Each time security removed her. The 3rd time, my boss had enough. Look, Bryce, I feel for you, but she's becoming a liability. If she shows up again, we're calling the cops. Already on it, boss. I filed for a restraining order that afternoon. Turns out, showing up at someone's workplace repeatedly while sending hundreds of messages from burner phones makes the judge's decision easy. But the real entertainment came from an unexpected source, Kieran's wife, Aroha. She messaged me on Facebook, "You're Bryce? The electrician? Can we talk?" We meet at a cafe in Takapuna. She's exactly what you'd expect, suburban mom, looks exhausted, probably hasn't slept since finding out her husband's a cheating prick. "I wanted to thank you," she starts, "for sending those screenshots to Sienna's father. He forwarded them to me. I'm sorry you had to find out that way." "Don't be. I've suspected for months. This was just the proof I needed." She stirs her flat white. "Did you know she wasn't the first?" "What?" "Kieran has a thing for his clients. Your girlfriend. A florist in Wellington. Some painter in Tauranga. Always artists. Always younger. Yeah. My lawyer's having a field day with the evidence. He'll be lucky to see his kids supervised." She pauses, then adds, "Sienna's been calling me. Crying about how I ruined her life by leaving Kieran." The mental gymnastics on that one. Right? Apparently, it's my fault her side piece can't leave his wife anymore. We actually laugh. 2 people left over by the same pair of narcissists, finding humor in the wreckage. "How are you holding up?" she asks. "Better every day. You?" "Same. It's liberating, isn't it? Finally seeing them for what they are." Before she leaves, she hands me an envelope. "What's this?" Screenshots of Kieran bragging to his mates about Sienna. "Thought you might want them for your restraining order. He mentions how she was only with you for stability while effing around. Cheers." "Really? Us betrayed partners have to stick together." That evening, Ross calls. "Bryce, I need a favor." "Anything." Sienna's been staying with her mother in Tauranga. She's threatening to contest the trust fund freeze. I need someone to serve her papers at her pottery class tomorrow. My lawyer says it has to be someone not family. Done. I'll make it worth your while. Ross, no. This is what mates do. The next day, I walk into the Mount Eden Community Arts Center. The receptionist recognizes me from the countless times I picked Sienna up. "Bryce. Haven't seen you in. Just here on business. Which room is the pottery class?" She points down the hall. I can hear Sienna's voice carrying through the door, teaching about finding your creative center or some SHT. I knock and enter. The room goes silent. 8 middle-aged women paying $40 an hour to play with clay all turn to stare. Sienna's at the front, hands covered in mud, mouth open in shock. "Bryce? What are you?" I walk straight to her and hand her the envelope. "Sienna Morrison, you're being served." "Served? For what?" "Your father's lawyers will explain." Just wanted to make sure you got these personally. I turn to leave, then stop. Oh, and Aroha says hi. She's taking Kieran for everything in the divorce. Thought you'd want to know your boyfriend's about to be as broke as you are. The last thing I hear as I leave is one of her students asking, wait, I thought you said your ex was abusive? Update 3, posted 1 week later. This'll probably be my last update. The restraining order went through. Sienna can't come within 100 meters of me, my workplace, or my residence. The judge was particularly interested in the 247 messages she sent from 18 different numbers over 3 days. But the real victory came from an unexpected place. Remember Bella, Madison, and Pippa? The parasitic friend group? Well, Bella reached out. Hey Bryce, I know you probably hate me, but can we talk? I have information about Sienna you need to know. Against my better judgment, I agree to meet her at a coffee shop in Ponsonby. She shows up looking rough, no designer yoga wear, just jeans and a hoodie. I owe you an apology, she starts. That comment about her ex was disgusting. I was drunk and stupid. Why are you really here, Bella? She pulls out her phone. Because Sienna's been lying to everyone, including us. And now that the money's gone, so is her filter. She shows me messages. Recent ones. Sienna bitching about me to the group. Bryce was always just a wallet with a DK. At least Kieran made me feel alive. I'm going to tell everyone he hit me. Who'll believe some tradie over me? Maybe if I claim rape, Dad will feel bad and give me money again. My blood runs cold. She's planning to make false accusations? Was planning. We shut that SHT down quick. Madison's studying law, she knows what happens to false accusers. But Bryce. There's more. Bella scrolls to older messages. From a year ago. When we were supposedly happy. God, Bryce is so boring. All he talks about is work and saving money. The SX is mechanical. Like effing a robot with a savings account. I'm only staying until I establish myself as an artist. 2 more years max. At least he's too dumb to notice when I'm high. Hi? Bella nods. Coke. MDMA. Sometimes during your date nights. She'd do lines in the bathroom then come back to the table. I thought she was just going to fix her makeup. Bryce. She's been using your money to buy substances. Dealing a bit too. Nothing major, just to her pottery students. Rich housewives love their recreational pharmaceuticals. Why tell me this now? Because when we heard she was going to accuse you of abuse, we realized she's actually dangerous. You were good to us. You didn't deserve any of this. You all treated me like SHT. I know. We're spoiled bitches who thought we were better than the working class guy. But you never once threw it in our faces that you were funding our nights out. Even when we mocked you. She slides a USB drive across the table. What's this? Every message. Every substance deal. Every lie she told about you. Screenshots, dates, times. Consider it insurance. Why? Because tomorrow I'm checking into rehab. I'm 28, living off daddy, dating dealers, and drinking myself stupid. Watching you walk out that night with dignity while we screeched about who'd pay the bill? It was a mirror I didn't want to look into. F me, I wasn't expecting that. Good on you, Bella. Really? One more thing. That pottery workshop in Hamilton next month? She's not teaching. She's meeting her new target. Some surgeon she matched with on a dating app. Already telling him about her abusive ex who financially controlled her. She moves fast. She has 2. Rent's due and daddy's not paying anymore. That evening, I forward everything to Ross and my lawyer. Ross calls immediately. A substance dealer. My daughter's a effing substance dealer. Small time, but yeah. I'm done, Bryce. Completely done. She's not getting another cent from me. Not even for rehab if she asks. That's harsh, Ross. Is it? You gave her everything and she was planning to destroy your life with lies. She's lucky I'm not reporting her to the police. About that. You wouldn't. I wouldn't. But Bella might. She's got a guilty conscience and rehab starts with honesty. Ross sighs. Christ, what a mess. How are you so calm about all this? Because I'm free, mate. Free of the manipulation, the lies, the drama. I've got my work, my mates, and a section in Hobsonville to build on. She's got pottery classes and a substance habit. And the surgeon? I thought about warning him. Then decided that's not my circus anymore. 2 days later, I get a call from an unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Is this Bryce? The electrician? Who's asking? Dr. Parth Singh. I think you know why I'm calling. The surgeon. She told you about me? She told me you're dangerous. Abusive. That you stalked her and ruined her life. But something didn't add up, so I did some digging. Found the restraining order. It's against her, not you. Smart man. Can you tell me the truth? I need to know what I'm dealing with. I give him the short version. The cheating. The substances. The lies. He's quiet for a long moment. Thank you. You've saved me considerable trouble. What will you do? Block her number and report her dating profile for fraudulent information. She claimed to be a successful artist with gallery showings. She teaches pottery to bored housewives. Yes, I gathered that when she asked me to pay for our first date. We both laugh. Take care, Doc. And maybe verify the next one's stories before getting involved. Lesson learned. You're a good man, Bryce. Final update, posted 3 months later. G'day everyone. Figured I owed you all a final update. I'm writing this from my new place, just finished building on that Hobsonville section. Did most of the work myself with some mates helping on weekends. 3 bedrooms, double garage, and a workshop for my tools. The kind of place I'd dreamed about but never thought I'd own at 29. Business is booming. Ross's dealership contract led to 3 more commercial clients. I've had to hire 2 apprentices just to keep up. Turns out, walking away from toxic people creates space for success. Who knew? Speaking of Ross, he's become like family. Sunday dinners at his place, fishing trips to the Coromandel. His wife makes the best roast lamb in Auckland. They never mention Sienna. About her, last I heard through the grapevine. Lost her job at the arts center after parents complained about her behavior, showing up high to classes. Moved back to Wellington with her mom. Working retail at some boutique clothing store. Dating a 45-year-old divorced dad of 3 who thinks she's misunderstood. Still posts inspirational quotes about phoenixes rising and leaving toxic situations. Bella actually followed through with rehab. She reached out last month to make amends properly. She's working as a legitimate yoga instructor now, paying her own way. We're not friends, but I respect the effort. Aroha, Kieran's ex-wife, invited me to her divorce party. Turns out Kieran had hidden assets, multiple investment properties. She got everything. The kids are doing better without his toxic influence. She's studying to become a counselor specializing in betrayal trauma. Good on her. And me? I'm golden. Started seeing someone a month ago. Sparky like me, met her on a commercial site. She owns her own electrical business, pays her own bills, and thinks pottery is something you buy at Briscoe's, not a personality. When I told her this whole story on our 3rd date, she laughed and said, "Mate, you dodged a nuclear missile, not just a bullet." To everyone in a similar situation, here's what I learned. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Every red flag you ignore is a future wound you'll have to heal. Your worth isn't determined by who you're with. I'm the same tradie I was before, during, and after Sienna. The only difference is now I know my value. Dignity is priceless. Walking away with your head high beats groveling every single time. Success is the best revenge. While they're playing victim, you're building your empire. Good people recognize other good people. Ross saw through his own daughter's BS. Quality recognizes quality. Document everything. Those screenshots saved me from false accusations and legal drama. Never fund someone else's lifestyle at the expense of your own dreams. If they can't contribute equally, financially or otherwise, they're not a partner, they're a parasite. Oh, and that stroke game comment that started it all? My new girl has 0 complaints. Turns out it's easier to perform when you're with someone who actually respects and desires you, not just your paycheck. To Sienna, if you ever read this, and I know you still cyberstalk me, cheers for showing me exactly what I don't want in a partner. Your betrayal was the best thing that ever happened to me. It freed me to find someone worthy of what I offer. And to her dad Ross, you're a legend, mate. Thanks for choosing character over blood. Your dealership just ordered 3 new electric vehicle charging stations. I'll give you the family discount. That's all from me. Time to close this chapter and get back to living my best life. Remember, you can't build an empire with someone who thinks they're too good to lay bricks. Stay strong, legends. Bryce out. Edit, Cheers for all the support. To the blokes asking about my business, yeah, we're hiring. Auckland-based, competitive wages, and no drama. DM if you're qualified and not a dropkick. Edit 2, just got a text from Ross. He's shouting beers tonight to celebrate my first $1 million contract. Life's good when you surround yourself with solid people. Edit 3, since many asked, no, I don't regret sending those screenshots to her father. A man deserved to know who his daughter really was. He's told me multiple times it was the wake-up call he needed to stop enabling her. Sometimes the harshest truths create the most growth. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.